Good morning. Welcome to our viewers and attendees. It is my pleasure to welcome you here for another session of Viewpoints Plus. Learn how to upskill with Microsoft Office Specialization. I am Ivory Tuya, your host. I bet you're excited to know more about today's topic, but before we go to that, let me first introduce to you MCL. Malayan Colleges Laguna is the top performing school in the South, offering senior high school and college education in the fields of science, technology, engineering, business, the arts, and maritime education. With our excellent board and certification exam passing rate and outstanding reputation in local and national competitions, MCL is in constant pursuit of its vision to become global stipule of excellence. At MCL, learning is driven by technology. We are physically and virtually learning environments. We empower and nurture you to acquire the skills, knowledge, and values that will be enable you to launch your career of choice and become globally competitive professionals. We have blended learning tools available at your disposal, enabling a whole new level of collaboration and engagement among your mentor and peers. Part of MCL mission is to contribute to the solution of industries and society's problems through the expert application of knowledge. MCL takes this to heart with faculty members and students coming together to serve the community while learning and to initiate community engagement through sustainable efforts. At MCL, students are enabled to grow holistically. Learning is not confined within the four walls of your classroom. Through extracurricular activities, students can also experience hands-on learning and leading. MCL is able to do all this through Mapua University's world-renowned educational heritage that is deeply embedded in our DNA. This is the same DNA that will be equipped with enabling you to excel, lead, and innovate in a challenging society through academic programs preferred by both local and international industries. MCL received a 5-star rating for employability, guaranteeing students employment and an exceptional level of competence after graduation. A 4-star rating for facilities, ensuring access to smart campus and advanced learning system, and a 3-star ratings for social responsibility and inclusiveness, allowing them to contribute to society through problem solving. MCL's quality management system with the integration of its program offerings is certified compliant to the latest version of ISO 19001:2015. This is proof that MCL has built an effective framework to always keep the student's best interest in mind. MCL is granted autonomous status through CHED Memorandum Order Number 12, Series of 2019, enabling institutions to create new programs and engage in internationalization as needed by students. And that is Malayan Colleges for you. Interesting, right? So if you have any questions, you may comment here down below and we will get back to you later. To welcome us on this event and also to give us an idea on the Microsoft Office Specialization MCL offers, we are proud to introduce to you the Director of Institute for Excellence in Continuing Education and Lifelong Learning, Mr. Elvis Abellera. Hi, good morning po, sir.
Hi, good morning. A pleasant good morning to you and everyone. I am welcome to Viewpoints Plus, and I am Mr. Elvis Abellera, the director of the Institute for Excellence in Continuing Education and Lifelong Learning. And if we have to land on our MCL website, we can now see that we have the certification programs that you can browse through. And the MCL's mission and vision, in support for our missions 1 and 3, the certification programs that MCL would be providing you is a good tool for preparing the students, transform them to a globally competitive professionals. And this means that the students can be provided with a learning environment that would make them compete into the world market. And also, uh, they would be solving the professional problem, you know, the professional industry, and MCL through IXL, together with our partners, would like to not only be a diploma provider, but also globally recognized certifications provider. So our partner here is a Microsoft APAC Education Global Training Partner of the year 2020. Best Future Ready Skills for Industry Certification. In that case, we are in good hands in providing you with uh, globally recognized certifications. In MCL, we have our badges. So we want to uh, also display our badges as an institution. But just like in MCL, we want students to flash their badges. Not only to flash their diploma, but include the badges, for example, the Microsoft Office Specialist, and sometime in the future, we do have a certified associate for Adobe. So certification programs are now being recognized as additional credentials. So undergraduate degree, undergraduate certificate, micro credentials, just-in-time learning are a path actually for prior learning. So it's good for us to be aware that there are certifications which are globally recognized, which can give us credentials for our future. So certification programs, globally recognized certifications students must possess in the new normal, like the Microsoft, the Adobe, Autodesk certification. We have the QuickBooks for accounting. This one is for business, high school, and higher education. This one is communication skills for business. IC3 Digital Literacy Certification. We do have the Cybersecurity Certification, the Virtual Reality Certification, and also the app development for Apple, and more to come in the future. So we are actually uh, having a quality certification. Certification is handled by the world-renowned Certiport, a Pearson VUE business duly recognized by companies all over the world. Certificates are signed by the executives of the company, and we have access to Geometrics training practice software. So to complete the mode of delivery, each student would be learning, practicing, and being certified. And for learning, we have uh, a program software called LearnKey, for which the students would be learning. And then they would be practicing in a geometric software also. And then being confidently be certified by the Certiport. So in this case, the students will really know how to learn, how to demonstrate, and how to be certified and be confident in their certification programs. So again, in this Viewpoints Plus, we learn how to upskill and with Microsoft Office Specialization. So this would be our focus of the certification that we'll be providing to the students. And right now, we would be introducing to you uh, our partner in our certification program. And he is a graduate of the Executive MBA for Asian Institute of Management, wide experience in strategic management, business development, and data analytics. with long involvement in channel development in IT business. Includes developing sales strategies, building business with partners, in training and developing their sales team. Also, an experienced solutions specialist with a demonstrated history of working in computer software industry. Strong, educational, professional, skilled in sales, strategic planning, business model innovation, marketing strategy, and cloud computing. Now running a startup company, Audentes Technologies Incorporated, that specializes in providing schools with that technological edge to stand out and provide the right tools, skills, and competencies to thrive to our digital age. May I now introduce to you Mr. Francis Hernandez, co-founder, general manager of Dentes Technologies, our partner in the industry. Hi, sir. Sir, you're muted, sir.
Thank you so much again um, to Sir Elvis, and at the same time to the rest of our participants this morning who allocated your morning with us with MCL to watch our live feed in Facebook and at the same time in YouTube. Okay, so again, welcome to our morning show. Okay, so to walk you through about what's the topic for this morning, because earlier Sir Elvis was able to walk you through about the process, what is certification, and what are the programs in place that is upcoming in the next coming months, in the next coming quarter, and maybe in the next coming school year. So I've seen a lot of programs that will be rolled out soon. So fortunate enough, because the school is doing a lot of in terms of doing their own research in looking for the trends right now in terms of technology, at the same time looking for the right fit of programs or training programs that would entice potential employers to potentially hire our upcoming graduates. Okay, so our topic this morning would be focusing on learning how to upskill with Microsoft Office certification. Okay. So to those participants in Facebook and in YouTube, I know you're watching. Okay. Please chat in our chat box in Facebook or in YouTube. You please chat or place your comments. Okay. I'm all excited to listen with hashtag MOS. Okay. So you can place that hashtag MOS means Microsoft Office Specialist Certification. Okay. So to give a better context about my presentation, okay, I'd like to um, highlight this question. Okay, so this question pertains to parents. This question pertains to our students, and this question pertains also to those alumni who's watching this morning. Okay, so what would be your next investment? Okay, so please type in our comment box in Facebook or in YouTube. You can place your comments as well. What would be your next investment? Okay, so you can answer it. You can place like a brief answer, or maybe you can just place what you feel like would be your next potential investment. Okay, so let's check our chat box if some of our participants are responding. Okay, hashtag MOS. So shout out to Norika. Okay, hi Miss Norika. Same goes with Lenhart Joy Batas. Okay, and Juan Angelo Sorne. Okay, hi, good morning. Okay, so a big shout out to those participating. Okay, so we have Josh Shafi 88. Okay, hi, good morning. Okay, so I'd like to hear our participants, or for me, I want to read it. So, what would be your next investment? Okay, so what would be your next investment? Would it be um, focusing on cryptocurrency? That could be one. Or some of you might think the next investment would be, I plan to put up a small business. That could be also an investment. As a student, what would be your investment? So we have numerous number of potential investments. So I'd like to read this quotation or quote coming from Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so this is one of my favorite quotes. Okay, so he said that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Okay, so ang ganda, di ba? So an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. To be honest, I was caught by this quote by Benjamin Franklin because I was thinking I think the best investment would be possibly cryptocurrency, or maybe one good investment would be focusing on stocks, or maybe focusing on putting up my own business. I think that would be my best investment. Okay, before that was my thinking. But reading this quote coming from Benjamin Franklin, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because the biggest return, one of the biggest return that you can get is if you invest in knowledge, at the same time implementing a specific or acquiring a specific skill set that could help you in your career as a professional. Okay, so I believe most of our participants this morning, it's either you are a working professional, or potentially you will be a working professional maybe after X number of years in the academics. Okay, so my role here this morning is to guide you about your upcoming journey, okay, in MCL. And at the same time, after finishing in MCL, what would be your next path, or what would be your um, progress along the way after finishing college or maybe senior high school? Okay, so I have this sets of question. Okay, so number one is maybe some of our participants today are asking, okay, Sir Francis, how do we make it happen? Okay, or Sir Francis, how do we start with what you call investment in knowledge or investment in skill set? So how do we start? Okay, so number one, okay, so this is my take. Okay, this is my take, and please remember this insight of mine. When I was student, like most of our senior high school right now, or maybe our college students watching in Facebook or in YouTube, maybe you're thinking the same way I did, the same way that I think when I was in maybe in high school or college, trying to think what would be my course in college. I mean, majority of us naman is thinking that way. What would be my course in college, or what specific track should I take in senior high school? Okay, but that's not the case. Okay, this is my tip. Okay, so instead of having that kind of mindset, okay, why not as early as now try to type in, okay, in your, maybe if you're using Google search engine, just type in job opportunities. Like, so type in job opportunities. So type those keywords, job opportunity, or maybe you can also type next would be is high paying salary, okay, or best workplace, best working environment. So type those things, no? So as early as now, try to target specific companies that you would want to work in the future, okay, in the next coming years. So that's the trick. Instead of focusing on what specific course you will take uh, in senior high school or in college, try to check what are the job opportunities as early as now. Okay. Now, after checking that job opportunity, what's the next step? Okay. So this is my second step. You need to weigh your options. As a student or as an alumni or maybe as a parent, you need to weigh your options in checking your career or in looking for a job opportunity or maybe a business opportunity. You need to weigh that option. Is it my passion, or is it something that could bring my dreams into reality? Okay, so I've placed a specific uh, comparison between passion and property. Property means your more of your dream house, your dream car, or your your dream salary. Okay, so you need to weigh, is it your passion, or is it more of focusing on building your portfolio or property? Okay, so you need to weigh. Okay, once you weigh your option, is it more of a passion or is it more of a property? You want to build your property soon. Okay, so good thing. Okay, good thing partnering with MCL, especially our students today who are currently enrolled, and those parents who are not yet decided where to enroll their kids in the next, maybe in the next coming months, especially in the next school year. If you're not yet decided where to bring your kids, here's my suggestion. Okay, look for a school, specifically MCL, that drives partnership, drives industry partnership. Why? Because if you see that a school is building and driving industry partnership, it means they are listening to what the industry wants and needs. So that's why they're developing the skill set as early as senior high school and college. So try to look for that school. And specifically in this talk, we have MCL. Okay. So with MCL, good thing as mentioned by Sir Elvis earlier, okay, um, they're already creating different path and different programs in place for senior high school and college, depending on your course, depending on your track, and depending on your department, okay, where you are in. Okay, so initially they've evaluated couple of certification program primarily on Microsoft. Okay, so these are MOS on Excel, Microsoft Office Specialists on Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. Okay, and there are numerous number of certifications as well that is highly technical. Okay, so this certification makes a lot of sense when it comes to building your productivity competency. Why? One good example, if you finish your ABM track, accounting, business, and management, or maybe in college, if you finish your degree in finance or degree in business, you'll try to think, or maybe in accountancy, you'll try to think, what would be my next step? If I'll be an accountant, if I'll be a business and person, if I'll be a finance manager, what are the competencies that I need to build? So here, shown in my screen, you have Excel. Okay, so maybe some of our participants wouldn't appreciate Excel as early as now, but in the near future, like me, I'm working, I've been working in the industry for the past 13 years. Okay, so that's my experience, 13 years in the industry. And heavily, you know what? Um, of those things I learned in college is that the the thing that I commonly use when working is number one, since I've been in sales for quite some time, and at the same time, I've been studying marketing growth and patterns. So my best friend right now, okay, is really Excel, because with Microsoft Excel, I can at least see and compare data and information. In that sense, I can have like good business decision when it comes to pursuing a specific decision. Okay, so it's backed up by data, and at the same time, I'm looking on patterns. So in that sense, I won't be misled in my decision making. Okay, so the next question is, you might ask, okay, so we have the Microsoft, and I'm currently enrolled in MCL, or I'm planning, as a parent, I'm planning to enroll in my kids in MCL. Why should I enroll my kid in MCL? Okay. The reason why is they have available programs in place. Okay. So imagine not every school in the Philippines is coming up with this kind of bright idea to implement certification. This is what you call industry certification. Typically, professionals are taking this types of certification. But with MCL, they were able to strategize to have it embedded with their curriculum. Okay, that's one. And number two, if a specific course, for example, a specific course or a specific track, it's not yet embedded, they have created an optional track for students to take during summer breaks. So imagine you having your break. So instead of focusing on other things, you can go to MCL, um, enroll online, or check their available offering, and they have specific tracks and courses, particularly in building skill sets like in PowerPoint. If you want to be good at presenting PowerPoint or use PowerPoint in terms of like business presentation. So that's one competency you need to build. Number two, soon if you want to establish your company, right? If you want to put up your own startup company, at the end of the day you need to have sales. Now before having that sales is you need to be good at creating and drafting proposals, and you can do it in Word. And lastly, you need to study numbers. No, it's not just looking at numbers, but you need to have like good financial background as well if you want to put up a business anytime soon. So with that, you need to be good at Excel, so you know how to look at your balance sheet. Okay, so that is one reason why should you consider taking certification programs within MCL. Now, what's the other why? Okay, posted online. Okay, so you can check Forbes. So they're actually stating that certification, or what you call micro credential, is a is currently in demand when it comes to employment, or if you want to be employable someday. Certification is the way to go. Okay, I'm not discounting anything here. Okay, so which means what I'm saying here is you need to build your portfolio as early as now through micro credential and certification in that sense, because after finishing college or maybe after finishing senior high school, if you want to work, um, if you draft your resume or what you call CV and you don't have a professional experience like working in companies, the first thing that an HR would check is your portfolio. Okay, what do you have? What are the skill sets do you have? Commonly, I've read a lot of resume applying to my company and prior to my previous company as well. A lot of applicants, what they do is they place the word proficient in the use of Windows operating system, proficient or knowledgeable in the use of Microsoft Office. The problem with that statement is companies are having difficulty gauging your level of competency, because in reality, those are description that cannot be measured. Like the word knowledgeable, it's hard to measure the word knowledgeable, right? So because it's kind of subjective. Same goes with proficient, right? So those are indicated in a lot of resumes, especially for our alumni that are trying to apply now for companies, especially here in Metro Manila or somewhere in your place or in your locality. It's hard to justify your level of proficiency if you indicate those description: proficient, knowledgeable, or familiar, right? It's hard to quantify. In comparison, if you place like exam passer for Microsoft Office Specialist in Word, in that sense, companies would see, okay, so he was able to pass the associate exam for Word, which means this is his level of competency. Oh, he was able to pass the certification for Excel expert, which means he has the competency for the advanced use of Excel. So in that sense, companies have a better understanding of what's your skill set, and at the same time, the salary range that they need to provide for those fresh graduate or those alumni who are trying to look for job opportunities. Same goes with parents. If you want to invest also with certification, that's also a good way of doing your investment, because at the end of the day, if you invest in education, knowledge, and skill set, um, wala po tayong talo doon. Why? Because at the end of the day, those skill set, it might not be useful today, but in your future job application, it will be very useful, because depending on your specific role and depending on your target skill set that you would want to develop, it can help you secure a specific, maybe a job opportunity, or maybe putting up your own business. And at the same time, the other why is MCL is trying to bridge the gap. Okay, if you can see what our partner MCL did is this: Malayan Colleges Laguna is now an official testing center of Microsoft. So imagine they are a test center of Microsoft, which means they can run different certification programs for senior high school at the same time for college to drive potential employability in the future. And the best part is the student has a choice which certification would best fit their need. At the same time, the school also places their recommendation what would be the best certification for you as a graduate or for you as a student. Okay, so you just need to discuss it with IXL to check what would be the best certification program that they could recommend to you as an alumni or potentially as a student or potentially as a student graduate this coming school year or as a parent working in the corporate. Okay, so these are just potential options. So I recommend please connect with MCL and check what would be the potential certification program that you can enroll into. Okay, now if you enroll in different programs of certification under MCL program, um, particularly Microsoft, you can earn badges and certificates. So what are these badges? So these are technical badges, what you're seeing right now in my screen. So these are like Microsoft 365 fundamentals, Dynamics 365 fundamentals, Azure fundamentals. So these are cloud technology. So this is geared towards technical side of competency. Now, on the productivity side, you have the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and many others. So all you need to do is inquire to MCL and check what would be the best certification program for your specific role, either job role, job opportunity, or as a student, what would best fit your course or track or strand. Okay, so please check with IXL. Okay, so moving forward, I'd like to highlight a little bit, like a little story about myself. So as mentioned earlier with Sir Elvis reading my bio note or my credential. So to summarize, this is my credential. So I've worked in a medical distribution company for 4 years, then eventually moving in a tech company for almost 5 years, working in a tech company. Then right now I'm running a startup business. But prior to this success, prior to this job opportunity, and prior to finishing my post grad, is that after college, if you look at my LinkedIn, you'll be surprised. I've been working in the tech industry for almost 7 years now. Okay, and at the same time running my own startup. If you look at my college credential, I've worked as a okay. Please hear this one. Okay, I've worked as a nurse. No, maybe some of our participants right now in Facebook or some of our participants in YouTube are asking, Sir Francis, you're a nurse? How come you're a nurse? Then you finish your degree, you're a licensed nurse, but you were able to work in an IT company. Okay, formerly I worked at Microsoft Philippines for 5 years, then eventually put up my own startup company focusing on training and services. Okay, so how is it possible, Sir Francis, that finishing college as a nurse, then eventually working in a tech company, it doesn't there's no connection. Okay, there's no connection. So maybe some of our participants right now are puzzled. How did I do it? Okay. So to give you some tip, okay. The main reason why I was able to jump from one career to another is that I was able to acquire, okay, and build my portfolio when it comes to my competency and skill set. I was able to pass one examination. Before it was Red Hat Linux. I was able to pass one certification, then another certification, then another certification, then eventually moving to IT company. Then I started my journey getting more certification to a point I have numerous number of certification already during those number of years in my corporate experience. So what happened to me? Okay, might happen to you. It could open a lot of job opportunity. But what I'm saying here is you're fortunate enough because with my previous school, okay, where I graduated from, there's no such thing as certification in place prior to graduation. There's no such thing as that back in the days, no, around uh, 15, 16 years ago. There's no such thing as partnership about industry certification. But now, fortunate enough with MCL, they have a partnership with Microsoft. At the same time, they are a test center in which they could run multiple certification programs of Microsoft online. Okay, so you can take examinations at the comfort of your home. So imagine the level of comfort. All you need to do is to prepare a set of laptop, enroll in a program, and have that internet connectivity. And you can start doing reviewing and at the same time taking those examination programs of Microsoft under MCL. Okay, so maybe the next question is you can type our chat box, especially your questions. Later, we'll be reading all those questions. Okay, so as early as now, parents, students, alumni, and professionals, please type in your questions or clarification on our chat box in Facebook, at the same time in YouTube if you have like any questions running in your head. Okay, so the next question would be is this, Sir Francis, if I take a certification program, what is in it for me? What would be my benefit, no, in taking these programs in the long term and in the short term? Ano yung pwedeng maging benefit nito for me? Okay, so to give you a better context, I've highlighted four main benefits. There are numerous number of benefits that you can get, but I tried to summarize it and I was able to come up with four main benefits. Okay, number one, employability benefit. Okay, so employability, business, continuing education, and freelancer. Okay, or freelance opportunity. So I'll walk you through one by one. So we'll start first with the most common benefit. Okay, for employment. Okay, so like myself, prior to establishing my business, I started as an employee. Okay, so working in a corporate, a lot of job opportunities, especially if you talk to an HR and you try to set up for an interview. This is not something that you try to post your credential online and immediately you'll be hired. That's not the case, no. That's not how it works. So to give you a better context, after finishing college or after finishing senior high school, if you want to work, you need to create what you call a CV or a resume, a resume or CV. You need to create one, okay? And you need to print multiple copies and at the same time post it in different job websites or job opportunity websites, okay? So once you print it or you post it online, okay, companies will start to review your credential. Okay, they will review your credential. After reviewing your credential, they won't immediately get you for an interview. That isn't the case. In reality, what's happening is they have numerous number of applicants, typically 10 applicants, 20 applicants, 30, and sometimes it could reach up to 100 applicants, okay, in specific job position, okay. Then what the HR does is they review one by one who has the best credential that would fit the requirement of the company, okay, when it comes to the skill set, okay, skill set and knowledge. So they will try to look for the best fit. Now if your credential doesn't say you're good at Excel, you're good at PowerPoint, you're good at cloud technology, you're good at programming, if it doesn't say those kinds of description and it's not backed up by a program or a certification program, it's hard to justify it during the interview that you're good at something because there's no proof at all. But if you were able to pass a certification program, that could be a validation of your skill set. Once you've passed those exams, place it on your credential and submit it to company, then they would recognize, okay, Mr. Hernandez, he's certified on this, certified on this, certified on, plus he has numerous number of projects. So that one can at least validate the level of skill set, at the same time the salary that's being asked by Mr. Hernandez. So same goes with you. It could drive potential job opportunity, okay, for employment. Next, continuing education. So what would be the benefit of certification for continuing education? If you're certified on a specific skill set, what happens is if you pursue continuing education, your peers, your classmates will try to work with you closely. Why? Because at the end of the day, in post-grad courses, they have numerous number of projects that they do on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Now, if you don't have specific skill set, sometimes in having that group, you might not contribute what is needed, especially if your group is um, requested to do a business presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, a marketing presentation. So if you don't do well in delivering designs, in delivering like good graphics or delivering good PowerPoint presentation, what happens is during the presentation day, okay, so if you're not familiar with those things, some of your group members might, no, might put a failing mark for their peer evaluation. Typically, you have what you call peer evaluation. So that basically grades you through your peers. No? So you have a grade coming from your professor. There's also a peer evaluation, especially in master's classes. Okay, so again, certification gives a benefit for those students who will aim for continuing education. So certification also gives at least an edge over the rest of your classmates. Okay. Next, this is very relevant. Because of pandemic, okay, in 2020 and still exists in 2021, because of pandemic, a lot of our working professional had some challenges or difficulty. Number one, securing a job because a lot of companies today are, it's either they're closing or they're cutting down their operation expenses, which means they need to lower down the number of employees. Okay, again, my apologies to those individuals who were able to experience those kinds of scenario, no, because of pandemic. Now, having said, a lot of professional, like working professionals before, what they did, since they're having difficulty securing a job, they try to do freelance work. Okay, so you can check it online. There are numerous numbers of website that offers small projects that you can do what for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, and you can earn X amount of money. Sometimes in dollar, sometimes in dollar, sometimes in euro, depending on the rates. Oh, so one good example is Upwork. I don't know if you're familiar with Upwork. Upwork is a website online that you can be a member of. Then at the same time, you can get small projects, like numerous number of projects, then it could generate like income for yourself. No? So these are typically um, side projects that you can do, okay, as a freelance worker. So what are these projects? Sometimes there are projects there that you need to create a website, or sometimes you need to develop a PowerPoint presentation for one company or for one individual. So they send those requirements, get that requirement, and you can work as a freelance. So it helps also freelancers to develop their portfolio, because as a startup freelancer, if this is your first time doing freelance work, it's hard to get the trust of those companies or those individuals to give the projects to you if you don't have any portfolio, especially if you don't have previous experience in running like freelance projects. So it's hard to do that, no. So if you have a credential, that could at least give peace of mind, or maybe a certain level of trust amongst those companies who would want to outsource freelance project or freelance work in the freelance community. Okay, so that's another benefit. And lastly, to those business owners, to those parents who's running businesses, to those individuals who would want to put up their own business, like startup business, certification also helps in some ways. Why? Because if you look at certification, for example, if you would want to put up a tech startup, okay, a tech startup, and you develop an app. Sometimes, especially if that app pertains to your services, is more of securing data of companies, for example. So as a startup company, and you're working as a IT engineer, and companies would first ask, before asking your company's background, before asking your company's credibility, they will ask those engineers that you have. Do you have a certification on data privacy? Do you have certification in data security? So those kinds of questions might be thrown at you during business meetings. So if you don't have that credibility or that competency, sometimes company are having difficulty trusting you, okay, as a business entity and as an implementing partner. Okay, so you need to have that credibility as a company. Okay, now lastly is having a partnership with MCL, especially they have a partnership with Microsoft and Udentes Technologies as the implementing partner. You have numerous number of options. You have numerous number of options that you can take. So number one, number one, you can take a productivity certification, and number two, you can take a technical certification of your choice. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. You are allowed to check different programs in place. Then moving forward, after taking Microsoft certification, there are numerous number of certification, like Sir Elvis had mentioned earlier. Like he was able to mention Adobe certification, Autodesk certification, even Apple certification. So imagine the school is doing a lot of things when it comes to research and what would be the best fit when it comes to your degree or your track in senior high school. Okay, so here's another tip. Okay? So as early as now, build your credential. Whether you're a student, whether you're an alumni, whether you're a parent, don't worry, hindi pa huli ang lahat. Okay? So, with the partnership of MCL, okay, you can hack your way up to open better job opportunities or maybe potential working opportunities. No? So, develop your credential as early as now and look for a test center. And in this case, that is MCL in your locality, okay, in Laguna. Okay. So what would be the next steps? So the road to success is that check the best fit certification for your course and track by simply connecting with IXL. Okay. That's one department in MCL that you can check what are the available certifications for you depending on your course. Okay. So they will best recommend a fitting certification that is aligned to your course or track and could build your portfolio as early as now. Okay, so please connect with them. Okay, so what are these programs? As mentioned, you have the productivity suite. So this pertains to non-technical person, but technical person also can take this program. But ideally, okay, these are positioned to those non-technical individuals. For example, your course is more of education, your course is more of maybe accountancy, you can take this certification. Now, for technical side, if you want to build your technical capability, you have Microsoft Certified Fundamentals. Okay, so Microsoft Certified Fundamentals focuses on AI, focuses on data science, and at the same time in cloud computing. So you have an option for this certification. Then, once you've passed the program, you will earn what you call a certificate. The certificate, it's not something that you earn if you attend a session like a webinar, no. So this one, there's an assessment that you need to pass and the passing score is 700 points. So that's 70% of the total examination. So you need to pass the program. Okay. So with that, I'd like to end my presentation by reading another quote. So this is another favorite quote of that I've been um, checking in terms of it's like a motivation for me. Okay, so I hope you feel the same way. So upon reading this quote, I was actually um, I attended actually the reason why I was able to find this quote because I attended one webinar and the speaker that who mentioned this quote was I was really blown away with his presentation and at the same time the quote. This is his introductory quote. Okay, um, the best way to predict the future is to actually create it. So imagine, so the best way to predict future is to actually create it. So in some sense, in some ways, we have control. We have control of our future. Okay, it's not maybe 100%, but there's a percentage in that future that you could actually control it. Okay. Now, how do you control it? By basically creating it. Okay. So how do you create it? As mentioned, if you wanna be successful in the years to come, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you wanna be successful, you need to build your portfolio as early as now because success doesn't happen overnight. I don't believe in like overnight success. That I mean, it might happen, no, but in reality, the chances of it happening, maybe it's just 1%, no, or maybe less than 1%. So to be successful in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 20 years, what you need to do is to control your environment by taking a lot of programs, taking a lot of certification program that is aligned to your goal. Okay, so do it as early as now. So in the future, before it happens, before you apply to multinational companies like working in Apple, working in Google, working in Microsoft, working in IBM, working in Oracle, you need to build that credential, you need to build that credibility. So once you've applied in those companies because you were able to build your portfolio, so you won't have any problem applying to those multinational companies in the future, whether in the Philippines or abroad. So that would at least help you establish a potential good career in the years to come. Okay, so what would be the next step? So my advice to parents, students, and alumni, start evaluating your option. You have numerous number of options, start evaluating today. Next is schedule a meeting with the certification department in charge, and that would be IXL. Set a meeting, call them, or maybe send an email, or maybe try to chat them in their Facebook and inquire. No? Check the best possible option for your program, for your profession, or maybe for your degree, or maybe for your um, profession that you're targeting. Okay, and lastly, when you've discussed your certification option, try to check what would be the schedule. What would be the schedule that would best fit the your availability, and at the same time the trainer's availability. So check the available option. So with that, I thank you, and I'd like to share the floor with our participants. If you would want to throw in your questions, clarification, anything about certification, especially if it's Microsoft, please do let me know. Okay. So thank you, Sir Elvis, and our friends from MCL.
All right, thank you so much for our dear speaker, Mr. Francis and Mr. Elvis. And I think we have a question here po, sir, no? From Kim Tividad. So the question is, can you please elaborate on how MCL alumni can avail of the MS certification program and how much will we need to invest?
Okay,
Is that
yeah,
the question directed to me or to
I think I can
Sir? I think
answer
Sir
that.
Elvis, no? Sir Elvis.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
correct, correct.
Hello,
Thank you.
Kim. Good morning. You can get in touch with us. Please register on the Viewpoints Plus QR code. No? Mag-link kayo doon, then magpaparegister kayo. And I'll be giving you the detailed information on how to uh, get the MOS certification. And yung investment, I think we would be giving now the pricing to the public, no? So just be in touch for alumni. I think usually you can get yung kung normal lang, ano, kung normal lang na ano, mga 7,500. But now because you are an alumni at different levels, no, you can get that at I'll check the figures, baka magkamali ako eh. Okay. For alumni, you need to invest about 4,800, and that would be inclusive of VAT na. Tapos na yun. O, lahat na yun yung babayaran nyo. So you'll be given uh, sa back end ano, yung how to enroll, how to pay, then that would be given to you once you registered with the link that's provided in the viewpoints, no? Or siguro the team can provide the link so that they can register on that link, and we would be we will get in touch with you individually and give you the detailed information. And the good thing about this certification is that you will be given parang yung confidence level kasi pag usually noon, katulad ko din, I've been uh, undergoing certification. Nakakakaba pag may certification, di ba? Nakakatakot. Pag certification, nakakatakot. Pero this time, nakaano na siya, naka-flat na siya. You will learn using the learn key. You can practice, di ba? Anytime you want, no? At the comfort of your home. Then, ulit-ulit ka lang, practice ka ng practice, learn ka lang, paulit-ulit. And then, but once that you are ready, sabihin nyo na, at saka may mga mock, ano naman doon, mock exam, no? So once you're ready, no, sasabihin nyo lang sa akin na, Sir, I am ready to be certified. Yan, yun yung ano dyan. So, yun yung mga pwede nating tingnan. And just get in touch with iExcel. No? Mayroon akong, siguro, pagka nagpa-register na, ibibigay sa lahat yung contact numbers, lahat ng point of access. No? At saka doon din doon sa ating website, sa MCL, may certification program na doon na drop down na makikita niyo yung MOS. Then we will be populating that with information also. And go also to the social media para doon sa mga future nating promotion. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. Mahaba, no?
Ayan po. Thank you so much po, Sir Elvis. Another
Sure.
question
Thank
po is, how do you enroll on this certification program? Is it only open to the MCL community?
No, it's open to the public. Okay? It's open to the public, and you need to register with that link. It's given here yung sa Microsoft Specialist para lahat ng information ay maibigay ko sa inyo. Those who already registered, I would be emailing you, kaya mag-standby kayo sa emails ninyo. I'll be giving you information with regards to how to get your certification, the information, how much you are going to pay. Siyempre, iba-ibang ano yan, iba-ibang pricing. Iba rin kasi pag MCL student, no? Alam naman natin yun. And alumni may discount din. And of course, the general public may discount din yan. Okay? And MCL employees din, may discount din yun. So you can get the certification at a much lower cost, actually, lower investment. So yun, please register. Yun yung aking pwedeng mahawakang information, kasi I could not yung parang kung kalat-kalat yung info, kumbaga iba-iba yung nag-message. Mas maganda sa isang sa isang form lang, no, na para makita ko lahat yung mga interested. And those who are interested would be given information. Pati yung mismong Sir Francis, no, mismong learning, no, na titingnan nila if they are interested for Excel, for PowerPoint, for Word.
Yep. So thank you, Sir Elvis. And so what will happen is, building on the comments earlier that you've mentioned, Sir Elvis, is number one. There's actually a great news, no, for everyone, because for alumni, for parents, for students, and upcoming students of MCL. If you enroll in MCL, definitely, especially kung alumni po kayo or current students enrolled kayo, I believe merong discount na pinoprovide si MCL. Yun po yung best news, best part doon. Kasi if you look at the certification program, if you're an individual, then you have a credit card, you can actually purchase it online. But the price would be, you'll be spending roughly around $215 per exam, right? So per individual po yun. If you would want to certify it on your own, swipe your card, that's $215. And it's kind of expensive, to be honest. But with MCL, with the partnership, they're providing alumni discount. They're providing discount for current students, and I believe for parents as well. Okay, so that's the good news for our friends from MCL, alumni, and at the same time students and teachers. I believe you also have certain discount. You just need to inquire to Sir Elvis to answer how much discount is being provided kasi I don't have visibility po about the actual price po. Meron po sila, I think, price list na po provide po yata. Okay? So, thank you, Sir Elvis. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you so much
Thank
po.
you,
So
sir.
once again, if you have any questions po, you may comment here down below. So another question from STEM Teacher PH. Good morning. Ilang years po ang effectivity ng certificate?
Sir Francis?
Let me answer this one. Okay, so to thank you, STEM Teacher PH, for your question. With regards, I'll answer it first. The year's effectivity of certification. Okay, so again, depending on the certification that you will take. Okay, so most certification, the validity is 1 year, most certification. But with the Microsoft certification, the MOS particularly, it's lifetime. Okay, it's lifetime. So once you've taken the examination, it doesn't have any expiration date. But Microsoft and at the same time Certiport is also recommending for you to refresh your competency and knowledge in certification in the program itself at least every 3 years. No? It's not a mandatory, but it's more of a recommendation. So the validity of the license or the certificate, it's lifetime, but we highly suggest, as a training company and at the same time as a distributor of certification in the Philippines, to have it updated every 3 years for you to be more relevant to those companies that you are targeting to apply for. Okay? So I hope I was able to answer your question, STEM teacher. Okay? So, and thank you also, Miss Kim, for responding. Shout out, Miss Kim Trinidad, for Tividad, Miss Kim Tividad, for placing your question po. Okay? And Crypto Morty, thank you
And
for
thank you.
placing your question. Shout out.
And thank you so much po, Sir Francis. Ayan po, sir. I think we have no questions here po sa live natin. But I have some few questions po na sinulat ko while I'm listening po sa discussion nila. I was wondering po kung paano kaya yung magiging program. Like, meron po ba itong per module? Will this be online po? Flexible po ba yung schedule?
Okay, sige. I'll walk you through po. So, it's basically a self-paced program. Self-paced program, which means you can do the program at the comfort of your home. Okay, meron lang po tayong tinatawag na it's a split between synchronous and asynchronous session. So, magkahalo po siya, naka-hybrid po ito. Which means, yung synchronous session, you need to attend a specific orientation schedule. So, on a specific month, meron pong ipa-plot na orientation schedule to those applicants for the certification. Okay? Now, after the orientation is meron tayong tinatawag na learning phase in which you will learn and you will be given a code, an access code that will be placed on your computer. So, i-install po natin sa computer po natin yon. That application will be installed on your computer and it will be activated by a code. And that code will be given to you via email. Okay, via email po mabibigay yung code. Once you receive the code, you need to input the code and it will be a self-paced study na po all throughout. Okay? So, then after that, after your self-paced study, roughly that would be 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks of self-study, we highly suggest to book your calendar for the examination. And I believe it will be posted naman po what are the dates for the examination, and you need to sign up for it. In any event that you feel like you're not yet ready, you can go with other batches if you feel like you're not yet ready, because again, the certification goes one time. If you fail the examination, that's already one time. If you want to retake, there would be a certain cost for it, no, if you want to do a retake. So I suggest, since this is one time, is to pass it your first take. Hopefully your first take. Okay.
So
So,
be serious about the certification. But
yes,
you can practice.
definitely. There's a mock test. There's
Yeah.
actually a software that is in place that you can practice the certification, so you would know whether you have a high chance of passing. Unlike, for example, those individuals who was able to take the board exam, right? When I took the board exam before, I don't have a pre-assessment to really check whether I could really pass the board exam or no. No, it's more of a gut feel. No, gut feel siya when you sat down on the examination day for your board exam. After finishing the examination, you will have a gut feel whether you will pass the board exam or not. Chances are, right? But with Microsoft certification, there's what you call a mock test. The mock test, it's somehow almost similar to the actual test, but the only difference is the framing of questions, the set of questions, and how it's arranged. But the concept itself, it's almost like the live examination. That's the beauty of it. Okay?
And it has a time limit.
Correct. It has a time
Yeah,
limit. So you will really get the vibe of taking the actual exam.
may time
So
limit
that's
kaya maging serious kasi mauubos oras.
correct. Yeah.
Okay po. So, ayun po, I have a last question na po. Sige. Is there a chance po ba na maging free yung certification, like the program? Is there chances po ba na wala siyang cost or free siya?
Well, for sure, magkaiba po kasi yung ano eh. Let me put some context here. Okay, so with certification is different from certificate. Certificate. What do you call this? Certificate of participation. Magkaiba po yun, no? So let me put some
Dito
context
attendance.
here. Correct. Certification, it's optional, which means you can study, okay? You can study and you can learn. After that, you will earn certificate. May certificate ka na doon, okay? But hindi siya certification, certificate. Certificate of program completion, okay? Yung mga ganun po, sometimes libre po yan. You can go online. You can go to Microsoft Learn. They provide numerous number of trainings, okay? These are free trainings po if you don't want to pay. These are free trainings. But if the question or the context of the question, will it be free? It would depend po sa ating institution po, particularly with our friends from MCL po. Kasi the word free is it's a bit tricky, no, to actually commit, no. So, but yeah, but there's an investment to it. As mentioned kanina po, no, taking certification, taking upskilling program, and taking like acquiring new knowledge, it's it somehow needs an investment, no? So imagine if this is for free and everyone takes it, what would be your edge, right? Like imagine if we are like 100 Filipinos, 100 million Filipinos right now, and this is given for free. So all those individual who will take it for free, it will be like everyone else has it, so there's no value add for you. So companies, instead of you being like the priority list, because those 100 applicants have the same credential as well, so you don't have an edge, right? So that's the beauty of it if it has a minimal payment. As mentioned earlier, no, $215. And sinabi ni Sir Elvis, roughly it's around 4,000 plus. Tama ba ako, Sir Elvis? Roughly, that price nasa almost 4,900 or less than 5,000. So it's like
4,008 for alumni and lower for students.
4,800 tas lower pa for students. So imagine parang 50% discount.
1,250, I think.
Yeah, it's more than 50% discount. So I think that 50% discount is seriously malaki na po yun. Okay, yung 50% discount. So I myself, when I took certification program, I spent a lot of money po, to be honest. That's why when I was able to pass those exams, I was able to land a good job opportunity working in Microsoft at the same time with other companies because of that credential. Imagine if it's for free, no? So like if I'm in an interview session and numerous number of applicants, we have the same credential. So what's my value add? Typically zero, right? So thank you, Miss Ivy, for your question.
I might clear this one for students. MCL, active students for MCL, 4,250. Okay, so I'll check my numbers again. 4,250 for MCL students. For alumni, we have 4,800, and of course for external clients, industry professionals, employees, individual employees, that would be 5,000. For MCL employees, just get in touch with me because you have, I think, a special price, no, special fee
Yeah.
for employees. Okay, baka kasi
Yeah.
mainggit yung nasa labas sa sobrang baba.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yan, ganyan. So, uh, maging interested na kayo. Bihira lang yung mga ganitong pagkakataon.
Yeah. I suggest again, working in the industry for 13 years now, invest in this kinds of program. As mentioned, the certificate is lifetime. But again, the recommendation is to have it renewed every 3 years because at least to get the latest programs in place. But again, that program can open a lot of doors and opportunity because the best part about certification program of Microsoft is if you go abroad, if you work in Singapore, Hong Kong, US, Australia, Canada, and anywhere else in the world, that certification that you were able to pass is highly recognized. No, that's highly recognized in comparison to other programs that are not certification and that are not officially recognized by this tech company. It will be very difficult for you to really showcase your talent because sometimes companies are validating it whether it's legitimate or not. So if you don't have those kinds of certificate, if you try to attend a webinar or a seminar, then you get a certificate of attendance. Companies are having difficulty validating it because there's no license number to it, right? So that's the difference of having a certification. Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much po, Sir Francis and Sir Elvis. I think there's no questions na po from our attendees and viewers today. Ayan. So, paano po kaya nila tayo makokontak if they are interested in applying for this program po? Sino po
Okay,
kayong pwede
so
na?
paano ko ba yan yung aking contact, yung email ko? Of course, yung ecabellera@mcl.edu.ph. You can contact me on my number 09560539 for my Globe account. So, pwede ba sa Messenger? Pwede naman, no? So,
Yes po, sir.
doon sa link natin, very important yung sa link natin. Kasi doon mas maganda personalized yung natin, yung information na maibigay sa inyo through email para official and meron tayong ongoing na connection, no, with the school. Of course, the school kasi yan.
Okay, so
Ano ba?
yeah, thank you, Sir Elvis. So to those who are watching, please check it here on our screen. Okay, this side na po na ito. Can you see that? http www.mcl.edu.ph/Microsoft-Office-Specialist.
Yeah,
So, or
that's where
go
you
to the
register.
website of correct. So, or to go to the website of MCL. After checking the website of MCL, you will see their Microsoft certification. Click that, and you can register and inquire for more details about certification program. Okay.
For those who registered already, I'll be giving additional information regarding the details of the Microsoft Office Specialist program. Okay, for now, because there would be some certifications in the future. Okay.
Ayan, okay po. Thank you so much po. Ayan, may pahabol po na question from Kim Tibidad. May certain level po ba yung certification, beginner, intermediate, advanced, or covered na po lahat in one program?
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Miss Kim, for Miss Kim for highlighting that question or raising that question. To answer you, there are two levels. There's associate level and expert level. Okay, so two level po siya. Then does it cover all program? No. The certification comes per program. So for example, you want to be an expert in Excel, that's one program. If you want to be expert in Word, that's one program. If you want to be expert in Microsoft 365, that's one program, or cloud, one program. And soon, MCL will launch other programs like Adobe, Apple, and other certification. It comes per application. Okay, so the expertise and the specialization, it's per application. It's like you having So try to imagine yourself, you being a specialist, right? Like for example, like a doctor, like most doctors, like they have a specialization. Same goes with technology. You have specific specialization. So that's the same concept that applies for doctors, for professionals, for engineers, right? For engineer, you don't have one engineer. There are multiple numbers of engineer. You have the civil engineer, you have the ECE, right? So these are all engineers, but they have specific forte. Same goes with certification. You can have separate different forte. Then from there, there are also levels of difficulty. Okay, so associate and expert level po. Okay, so thank you.
And also,
And thank you so much.
your certification, if you want more, for example, you want to enroll in Excel, you want to enroll also in PowerPoint or in Word, you can take it one by one. You know? So, and then I think there's another uh, certificate, Sir Francis. Now, if we pass 3 out of 4, yeah, you would be automatically given a Microsoft Specialist Associate, meaning you are certified in 3 separate certifications. Tama? No. Okay.
Sir, sorry, sir. Elvis, what's the question, sir?
Tama yung ano, no? You would be given a Microsoft Office Specialist Associate if you intend to take Microsoft Excel, you pass that, you take Microsoft uh, PowerPoint, and you pass that, and you take Word, and you pass that. Then an additional certificate would be given, right?
Yes. If you have like, do we have a specific? There are individual certificate and there are also group certificate. Okay,
Yeah.
if you finish numerous number of certification, you will earn a little like an extra token certificate that acknowledges that you were able to pass numerous number of certification. But again,
Add-on siya, no?
that has no payment na already. So if
Okay.
you pass numerous number of exam and you are eligible to get that certificate, you will get that na po, no? So yeah, that's how it works.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying on that, sir. Okay na.
Welcome.
Thank you so much po for answering all those questions po, no? I think wala na po tayong question from the comments po. Ayan. Again, thank you so much po sa lahat ng viewers natin and attendees. This is our great pleasure po to have this a fruitful discussion with you. And sobrang thankful po kami na active yung participation nila today. And if you have concerns po that we might have not tackled today, you may message Sir Elvis. Also, you may like and follow our FB page, Malian Colleges Laguna, for more updates.
Meron
Ayan.
yata
Thank
si
you po.
Robin, parang humabol. Ridon ba yan?
Ay,
Ridon?
may humabol po. Ayan.
Sige, sige.
Very
I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Thank you for your question, Sir Ridon Borlaza. Okay. Um, CompTIA is also a certification program, but MCL needs to apply for it. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a separate program that is it's brand agnostic, so it doesn't have any brand to it, so it's just CompTIA. CompTIA certification this focus on computer competency and literacy, so that is a different program naman po, but I
But
believe, I mean, that
meron
is
na. Oh. Actually, there's an ongoing. Inaayos na
CompTIA.
siya.
Okay, CompTIA.
Kumpiya,
Okay,
inaayos na siya. Just wait for that announcement.
and
It
then
would
it will be a
be,
separate webinar, right? It will be a
yeah,
separate
it's a
webinar,
separate
correct?
webinar. So,
Okay,
so
okay, yeah.
the certification program is still under IXL. No? So, and also in partnership with the colleges. Depende yan kung kasi they're planning to incorporate it with the curriculum, no? Doon sa curriculum, kaya pwede rin yun, or kung pwede rin siyang kunin in the future as short courses. So it's still in the planning stage, but we will be pursuing that also.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ridan.
Sir Elvis. Thank you. I think my last question po pala, I wanna read it na. I'm seeing it now, coming from Ma'am Kim. Ma'am Kim Actividad, may barkada package daw po ba? So barkada package. So let's give it to Sir Elvis if they'll come up with a barkada package soon, especially for our students who would want to get multiple numbers of certification. I myself, I cannot count the number of certificates that I have because of I always take a lot of certification
Oo.
program, especially if it's a new program. I immediately take it
Pa-
because I don't. Ano,
Parang
I mean,
referral program to, ano?
yeah. No, no. I think the Barkada package is more of ano, Sir Elvis. It's like if they want to get multiple certification, like 3 exams in one go,
Okay.
right? Parang ganon. So I think they want to have a bundle price. I think that's, or kung hindi man po, I think that Ma'am Kim is referring to, like, friends kami of 10 people, like one barkada, then we're gonna take all at once.
Sabay-sabay sila. And then they have a
Correct, correct.
special
Correct, correct. I
Nako,
think that's the Barkada package that Miss Kim is
you,
referring to po.
you
Yeah,
need to,
so,
we
okay.
can
So,
take that in the bin list. Malay mo, di ba?
wish list.
Pero I
Wish
think
list.
hindi pa,
Correct,
not
correct. I think
immediately,
lagay po natin sa wish list po. Yeah.
wish list
Thank you
yan,
for
ha?
highlighting that one, Ma'am Kim, and Sir Elvis and the MCL family will definitely review your request, the Barkada package.
Ang mga perks eh, no?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Ayan. Thank you
So,
so much po ulit. Ayan, anything you want to say po para sa mga viewers natin, Sir Francis and Sir Elvis?
Okay.
Meron po kayong
Sir Elvis,
i-add?
you want to go first, Sir Elvis?
Okay. So, kindly connect with us doon sa link na binigay, lalo na sa Viewpoints. And we will be populating also our certification program. Just check it. And I'll be getting in touch with you upon registration, because I think as of this morning, I saw 103 individuals who already
Wow.
registered. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So that's good. Thank you. And hope we can help. Sabi nga namin, we hope we can provide you diploma as well as, no, badges, yung mga pwede nyong i-flash your badge na yan. With certification, globally certified, globally recognized certification na you can have pag graduate nyo, di ba? Meron, hindi lang diploma ang dala nyo, meron din kayong certification na dala. No? So, sabi nga ni Sir Francis, kung ano yung training na nakuha mo sa Pilipinas at nag-take ka halimbawa sa US, pareho lang yung skill na na certified ka, pareho yung nag-recognize sa'yo. Pareho nag-vouch for your skill, sa skill set mo. So, you can compete actually globally. So, yun yung sinasabi natin sa certification. Hope na ma-appreciate natin lahat ng ito for our own benefit din. Ano? Win-win naman to lahat. Okay? Thank you. Sir Francis?
Okay, so again, my parting words with to our participants is I'd like to again go back to my first quote this morning. Okay, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So in that sense, okay, so hindi kayo malolost. Why? Because in any investment that you do, especially if your investment is into education, into training, into certification, hindi po mawala yon. In comparison to, for example, buying a car. It's good to buy a car, but it depreciates as it ages, right? But with knowledge po kasi, it's growing every year. It's growing as much as you as as big as you want to have it acquired. Like for example, yung pag-acquire mo ng knowledge, no? So hopefully we were able to encourage those senior high school, those college students, those alumni and professionals who would want to develop and hone their skills, especially if they would want to have like a better salary pay. Next would be like a great job opportunity working here locally or abroad. And lastly, who wants to put up their own business. I don't want you to commit the same mistakes that I did when I was a kid, no? Because again, this kinds of programs are not in place 15 years ago. There's no such thing as certification coming from our school. I don't have that luxury, no. But in your case, MCL did it for you. Okay, so they look for partners, and carefully studied those programs, which kind of certification program, whether it's Microsoft, Apple, um, Adobe, or CompTIA, they're studying all those programs in place for it to be embedded in academic programs, at the same time to become an offering in the future, especially during summer breaks. So grab that opportunity. Not all schools are offering these kinds of programs, so please grab that opportunity and sign up with MCL to become a certified individual, whether it's Microsoft or non-Microsoft. Do it. I'm not promoting any brand here. I mean, I just spoke because the talk today is about Microsoft.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, invest in a lot of certification regardless of the brand, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Apple, whether it's Google. Take it, because at the end of the day, you will see there in your certificate, it's not Juan de la Cruz, it's not Jose Rizal, it's your name, no? It's your name that will be indicated in that certificate with the license number underneath that. So in that sense, I hope, no, I hope this will be something that you will bear in mind. And sabi nga ng boss ko before, there are only two things that happens to corporate and business. Um, uh, he mentioned to me is to become um, phenomenal. Again, dalawa lang naman yung option. Sabi niya. So, tinake ko yun seriously. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. No? So, dalawa siya. So, working in the corporate, it's either you be good at or you'll be a mediocre, right? So, if you're mediocre, typically companies will just forget you, who you are, and what you did. But if you're really good at something, no, especially if you develop that skill set, right? So you will be remembered. So sabi nga lang, be phenomenal and you will be phenomenal, or be forgotten. So you have two options in life, no. I prefer to become be phenomenal, no? So that's why I took a lot of certification programs. But again, um, just to heads up individual, getting a certification, don't get me wrong, getting certification is not a guarantee of securing a job, but it gives you a better chance, no? Because at the end of the day, you will still have the interview. You'll still be present during the actual interview, because even if you have the certification, but during your job interview, you were late, no? You were late, you were not dressed properly. So you need to factor that in. Okay. So certification again opens doors and opportunity, but it's not a guarantee. Okay. So thank you and have a great morning.
Ayan. Thank you so much po. I think we don't have
Thank
questions
you.
na, or baka po may hahabol pa ng questions sa ating viewers
Na-flash
and
naman yung
attendees
yung
today.
email ko at saka yung number. Thank you.
Ayan po. So, ayan, you can contact Sir Elvis, no, for more information. Flashed here is the email address po ni Sir and also the contact number. Ayan po. So, I think that would be all for today, no, Sir? Sir Francis and Sir
Yeah.
Elvis. Ayan. Thank you so much po once again for um, our fruitful discussion po, especially sa ating mga viewers na umattend today. Ayan. Thank you so much po for your active participation today. So again, if you have concerns that we might have not tackled today, you can contact Sir Elvis. Yung email po niya nandiyan, and also the contact number. Also, you may like and follow our FB page, Malayan Colleges Laguna, for more updates. I think okay na po tayo, Sir Elvis and Sir Francis. Ayun. Thank you so
Okay.
much
So
po.
thank you. Thank you.
Ayan po. Thank you
Have a great day,
po.
everyone. Bye.